This is Witch-based news for Friday the 29th of November 2024. I'm Commander Buur. In Elite Dangerous news this week, there is a Thargoid Titan heading directly for Sol. The cradle of humanity is being evacuated as Thargoid vessels swarm into the system ahead of their mothership, and more. If you enjoy our videos, consider subscribing to the channel and remember to ping the little bell to make sure you see all our content and community posts. And if you'd like to help support our channel, links to our Patreon and everything else are in the description below. It's been a busy week for Elite Dangerous and it's about to get much busier, but more on that in a moment. Off the back of the live stream earlier in the week, I'm very pleased to be able to say that, due to popular demand, chrome, chromed, gold and golden paint jobs are all making their way to the Frontier store in the near future. We often get asked on this channel what the name of the mirrored surface paint job is that I habitually use on my Cobra Mark III. The mirrored surface paint jobs are all called chrome or gold. The chromed and golden paint jobs all have a brushed metal effect and are very distinctly different to their respective chrome and gold counterparts, as shown in the example on screen now. An important distinction to make if you are perhaps intending to drop some real money arcs on any of these. Midnight Black is also now available for the Python Mark II and the Type 8, coming in at 10,000 arcs apiece. All the other regular Midnight Black paint jobs are currently on sale for 6,500 arcs. And whilst we're talking about the Type 8, that ship has now left its early access period and is available for regular in-game credits at shipyards in the game now. The Mandalay also had a Midnight Black paint job released for it this week, but that skin has a gloss finish and not the usual matte black finish to it. After Frontier noticed the difference, they announced that they're changing the name of the existing PJ to Midnight Black Gloss, and further that the Mandalay will be getting a regular Midnight Black of the matte variety on December the 10th. Elite Dangerous itself is on sale on Steam at the moment with 70% off the asking price, and the Odyssey On Foot expansion is also on sale on Steam with 35% off the asking price. There is also an Elite Dangerous Deluxe edition that will get you both products for 60% off, meaning that in the UK for example, Elite Dangerous and Odyssey can be bought together in that bundle for just £8.79. If however you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can grab the base version of Elite Dangerous on the Epic Store for the princely sum of absolutely nothing, gratis, zilch, free. If you do that, be aware however that the launcher from that specific vendor will actually default to the old or legacy version of Elite Dangerous and not the up-to-date live version of the game with all the stuff in it that we're about to talk about. Fear not, it is still included, but you need to be aware that you need to change what version you want installed in the launcher's version options first before you install it. Here are some words that I didn't think I'd ever say that I really enjoyed posting on social media today. There is a biologically grown, city-sized alien megaship travelling at 4,000 times the speed of light on a direct heading to the Sol system right now. I'm going to rewind and go over some previously established stuff for anyone who might have missed this the first time around, because the last time this happened was around 2.5 years or so ago. If you haven't been keeping up with recent events, the Thargoid invasion was down to its last mothership. The Titan Cocijo was isolated and the forces of humanity were cleaning out the systems surrounding it in expectation of ruining its day at some near future time, making it go thermonuclear, just like the previous 7 Titans. In the Frontier Unlocked livestream on Wednesday, the team hinted that something was going to happen on Thursday, and indeed in game, Galnet News has also been dropping heavy hints to expect the unexpected. There was a slightly extended Tharg's Day server downtime on Thursday morning, and when the servers returned, a video appeared on the official Elite Dangerous YouTube channel that showed the Titan Cocijo absolutely not doing what was expected of it and patiently waiting its own demise, and instead firing up its star drive, taking Stargoid form and leaving the system it's been sat in for the last 2 years. The tail end of the video showed the NASA Voyager 1 space probe in the Sol system slowly being surrounded by Thargoid interceptors, the implication being, I think, fairly obvious. And indeed, upon checking in the game, the Titan Cocijo is gone and nowhere to be seen in the Thargoid war filter, and the Sol system is now in a state of Thargoid alert. There are non-human signal sources with some fairly terrifying threat levels throughout the system. Sol, the seat of the Federation and the cradle of humanity itself, is under direct invasion by a large and determined alien force. I mentioned that the Titan had entered its Stargoid form. The Stargoid form of a Titan is a massive swirling bright green mass that travels really fast in normal space. They are a trackable object in the game. Indeed, the player group Canonn Interstellar Research has all sorts of spreadsheets and tools for doing that very thing, one of which is linked below. Stargoids, or Unknown Interstellar Anomalies, or UIA as they're also known, spend an awful lot of time in the space between the stars, and if you jump into the FSS scanner in any of the systems in their very general vicinity and point it in the direction of the thing, then it is detectable. You can even listen to them as they travel. But if they're actually in the same system as you, then you can absolutely target them from your cockpit and, with a ship fast enough, chase them down. In actual fact, Commander Rini and I spent a considerable portion of Thursday doing that very thing, some footage from which you can see on screen now. The Stargoid travels at around 4,000 times the speed of light, meaning Supercruise overcharge can just about overtake it. As I mentioned, the vanguard of Thargoid forces are already in Sol, but Cocijo itself hasn't yet arrived in the system. By our current guesstimates, we think it likely it will arrive on or around the 10th to the 12th of December. It's no coincidence that the Cobra Mark V patch to the game arrives on the 10th, and the Tharg's Day server tick, when the Thargoid chess pieces all move, is 2 days later. So there's your window for whatever is about to happen. If you want to take part in whatever is happening in Sol right now, then clicking on it in the galaxy map and checking the right hand Thargoid War Filter tab will give you a list of available actions appropriate to a system in Thargoid alert. I'm not convinced any of this will stop Cocijo arriving, but if we can prevent the system rolling over into an invasion state, it'll mean it's at least in a better condition when it does arrive, for whatever it's worth. A couple of points around this to note. I've been hyper-addicted by Thargoids a couple of times when travelling around the Sol system in the last couple of days, but the hyper-addictions have been of the old stop, EMP and then scan type, and not the attack on sight versions that we've seen as part of the regular war. Also, it's further worth noting that I've very specifically avoided using the words Thargoid attack in this news piece and instead gone for Thargoid invasion. It was mentioned by the team at Frontier this week on the livestream that we've been applying human logic to alien motivations when dealing with all things Thargoid. It's completely understandable that we might of course interpret Thargoid actions as an attack. After all, they turn up in a system, spray everything with corrosive caustic goop, and then shoot at anything that isn't a Thargoid, but I have a vague recollection of Frontier saying in the deep and murky past of 2 or so years ago, at the start of the war, that the Thargoids are looking for something specific. It's also been said by the Thargoid whispering Sojin A that the Thargoids have a specific goal, but it's a goal that she herself was unable to determine. So it's a fair assumption then that they believe they may have found the thing they're looking for in the Sol system, and Cocijo's movement is in relation to that thing, and it's not just a simple attacking measure. After all, they've proven on numerous occasions that they're perfectly capable of attacking a system without there needing to be a colossal alien mothership parked in there with them. If true, then what could they be looking for? Sol is an interesting system for a number of reasons. It's not just for the mere fact that it's the cradle of humanity. For one, it's one of the few systems in the galaxy that has a planet that is very specifically and obviously permit locked, preventing players from landing there in the form of Triton, the moon of Neptune. Sol was also the location of the first ever discovered alien archaeological artefact. In Elite lore, in the year 2280 a small unknown something was dug up on Mars and immediately placed under a shroud of secrecy. Literally nothing else is known about it other than it was small and of non-human origin. So could the whole Thargoid invasion actually be about them looking for that artefact, or whatever is on Triton that presumably the Pilots Federation doesn't want us seeing, or both? And the Proteus wave events in HIP 22460 were somehow the catalyst for that search to refocus onto the bubble. It's the 10th anniversary of the launch of Elite Dangerous on the 16th of December, so it makes sense that Frontier would want to make a big noise both in and around the game for that anniversary. And just as we were making this video today, a message arrived in game from the Pilots Federation placing an evacuation order on the Sol system, asking for all available independent pilots to help with that evacuation effort. You'll find the passenger mission boards in Sol are full of refugee evacuation missions. This message further confirms, as though it were needed at this point, there is a Thargoid Titan mothership headed straight for Sol. Will you be tracking the incoming Stargoid in game this week? Why do you think the Titan is heading for Sol, and if it is looking for something, do you think it'll find it there? Let us know in the comments below. That's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be back later this week with more videos. Until then, 07 Commanders, follow the greens on the way out and do keep clear of the toast rack. We very much look forward to seeing you next time. And yes, I have got an absolutely appalling cold.